Hi, honey.
Hi, T.
So you took me on a yacht on Friday, which was a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
I didn't say thank you. I
I
was
mean,
just,
I took you on a yacht.
okay, well, thank you. I'll say it now. But yeah, we went on a yacht on Friday, which was a lot of fun. You actually presented at the iconic magazine, Iconic Mom Social. That's a mouthful, but
I
how did
know. Can you believe I did that?
I can't because it's just so unlike you.
There's a first time for everything.
Yeah. So how did that whole thing come about?
Honestly, a good friend of mine presented me with the opportunity, and she just was so genuine about it and thought that it was time for me to share my story, that I could really inspire and touch some people. And I was really unsure about it at first, but she really encouraged me to do it, and I'm glad I did. It was nice to step out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you for doing that because I know it's not something that you would naturally be inclined to do, like public speaking, especially about something that's like so painful and close to your heart. So I'm so proud of you for doing that in the first place. Um, were you nervous? Like, how long did it take you to write your speech?
I probably rewrote my speech like 5 times, and I did that over a period of 2 weeks. I would just write like little pieces every day that would come to my mind, just genuinely the way I felt about different things, and I at the end I just sort of pieced it together.
Do you think that now looking back at your speech, like, do you think you left out anything you wish you included, or do you think that you spoke too much about one topic? Like, what would you give yourself out of 10? You know how we love to obviously be better at everything we do and learn. What I want to know, like, the truth, like, what would you actually give yourself out of 10?
Oh, okay. Well, I was definitely prepared for it. It was really nerve wracking. Writing the speech on such an emotional topic was really tough.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely a 10 for effort. But then
A
when
10
I,
for effort.
for real, it was so hard.
I
It's
know.
not easy to talk about like painful things.
No, it's not.
But then when I was presenting, I got a bit emotional. I had to take breaks and breathe. And I wasn't like as professional as like the other speakers. So maybe like a 6 or 7 on the actual speech itself. But then afterwards, I felt so good. I felt powerful. I felt happy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all worth it. A 10 for the after feeling.
I agree. I'm just being a mean sister. I give you a 10. I think you did great. And I also give you a 10 out of 10 for your outfit. I think you look so good. How did you like your outfit?
I loved it, but that's not fair because you picked it.
I know that's. I just love when I get to dress you. Like, I just feel like you're like my Barbie, and you were in the mood to listen to me that day we went shopping. So I just admired your whole fit. I loved the gold on your shoes, the gold with the purse, and then the earrings that I bought you.
It was nice to feel good while I was standing up there for sure. The fact
Hmm.
that I had such a dressy outfit on, it
Yeah.
helped me stand in my power and feel confident in the person that I've become. So I
Hmm.
do appreciate having a personal stylist.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, but can we talk about one thing which is insane is so obviously you invited me as your plus one. You told me like the dress code. I had a super busy week with work. I wasn't putting too much thought into my outfit. And anytime I went and tried something on, I just kept telling myself, like, it's fine. Like, I don't have to go on stage. It's fine. I'm not going on stage.
And you kept picking the most basic outfits.
I mean, I wore a black dress,
Well, that I picked because it was gorgeous.
but I wasn't going on stage. So I was like, check mark, black dress. Like, you can just wear a black dress anywhere. Um, but then,
But then aren't you glad that you look good? Because little did you know you ended up on stage right next to me.
which is crazy. Like, can we just take a moment to talk about that? Like, no one goes and like has their first time presenting and then has like their sister standing with them. But I had to be up there as a mic holder. Like we didn't even.
think
I
about
said,
that.
no. And I was like, I'm not going on stage. It doesn't matter what I wear. No one's going to look at me. Yet I find myself and my strong arm holding a mic for 11 minutes straight.
Honestly, that is crazy. Like, we didn't even think about the fact that I would have to hold a mic or there would even be a mic because this is my first time doing this.
No.
You know, it's such a basic fact, totally slipped our minds. And, you know, if I had thought about that, I could have said something to Icons Magazine, like, get me a clip-on mic or get me a mic stand.
Or
like,
podium.
I have one hand, a podium.
Yeah.
But because this wasn't something I had ever done before, I didn't even think about that. But when I walked up there after they called my name and I had my phone in my hand ready to give my speech, and that lovely lady handed me a mic, I just was stumped for a second and was like, uh-oh, now what?
And then you didn't even have to wait a minute. And then I just walked up there like, all right, I guess I'm a mic holder for today. Because I remember I just like, she went to pass it to you and I like grabbed it.
Because then, you saw like, how's she going to do this? Because my whole speech was on my phone.
Which is so, it's just so funny to me that like we end up, you always put me in these situations, by the way, like our whole life, like I'm not expecting to do much or like, oh, just come with me quickly here or wait in the car, whatever it is. And then I somehow end up in these situations where I'm like on stage with you as your shadow holding your mic.
Even in a black satin dress.
Yeah. And I'm happy that obviously I found like such a nice dress, but I'm definitely happy it was black because I felt like it made me as invisible as I could be. Does that make sense?
I don't know why you had to be invisible. I had a gorgeous mic holder. My podium was beautiful.
Thank you. Did it feel different having me there with you versus like what you had expected?
That's what I was just about to say, is that it's just crazy because I was so nervous. I was overthinking. I had a glass of white wine to calm my nerves, but you know, doing something like that for the first time, and again, speaking from a place of pain, it's just not easy ever.
Yeah.
And like, who gets to have their sister standing up there with them? The second you walked up, stood next to me and held that mic for me, I felt all my nervousness just melt. All of a sudden, I was confident. I was happy. I was standing there with my best friend, my support. I felt great. And all of a sudden I felt like I was just talking to my sister. Yeah. And it was just the most amazing thing that could have happened in that situation. But it's also crazy because that doesn't happen. You can't have your friend or your sister or your security blanket up there when you are giving a speech.
I know. It's so funny. People have like a security blanket or a security pet. You have a support sister, security support sister, who just like stands behind you like your shadow, which is hilarious.
But it was the best thing because it was everything I needed.
Yeah. And I got an amazing arm workout. This is why I go to the gym and train for it.
I can't believe.
It was like pulses on steroids, just holding it like, and I think I had to switch hands like once or twice. I don't remember, but like the fact that I made it through on a like wobbly boat and my arm was like an anchor, but you said that your mic kept slowly dropping down and then coming back up.
I could tell your arm was getting sore. And also my 6-minute speech somehow turned into 11 minutes, you know? So yeah, that's, you have a jacked arm. Good for you. And keep going to the gym because I need you.
Thank you. So just for that comment, it was worth it being up there with you. But yeah, I think the night was great. I think you did really well. I know part of the reason we're doing this is like I mentioned to you today when we were out on our walk that I think you should read your speech. There was so many amazing speeches that happened that night, and I would love to like listen and play them back. So I thought this would be a great time for you to share your speech with like your friends, your family, and like, yeah, do you want to do that?
Right now?
Yeah. I mean, your phone's in your hand.
Yeah, you know what? I guess I can do that. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to get comfortable?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, here we go. I'm just going to read it the way I had it written.
Yeah, like for anyone who wasn't there, they could hear it
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Panu, and I am a mother of four beautiful children. I am truly honored to stand here before you today in a room full of success stories and strength. And I am especially proud that I am not standing here as a victim, but as living proof of the incredible power of the human spirit to endure, to fight, to rise above and heal from even the most unimaginable circumstances. Let me share a little bit of my story with you. 16 years ago, my husband and I faced a very tragic event, something right out of a movie. We were on our way back home after an amazing 6-week honeymoon touring the Middle East that began in Dubai and ended in Egypt. In order to catch our flight, we had to take a 6-hour overnight bus ride from where we were staying in Sharm el Sheikh to Cairo, where the airport was located. We were about an hour away from Cairo when the bus driver fell asleep at the wheel and lost control of the bus. And in a single terrifying instant, our world shattered. I can't believe I have to take a breath reading it the second time through. The bus hit the concrete median hard and flipped right over the edge of the cliff. In a single moment of inattention, we were plunged into a storm of twisted metal, shattering glass, and the horrifying realization that our lives were hanging by a thread. I remember the world flipping, the window beside me exploding, the sensation of the searing pain of my left arm being torn off, and then nothing. When the bus finally came to rest after flipping 5 or 6 times down the cliffside, my husband noticed the flames near the engine, and he knew it wasn't long before the bus was going to explode. I honestly don't know what primal instincts or fear kicked in, but somehow my husband, with his own critical injuries, managed to find me amongst a pile of other injured passengers and pull me from the wreckage just as the flames grew larger. Minutes after we escaped the bus, it erupted into flames and exploded. The force of the explosion threw my husband up and over the edge of the embankment where the bus had finally come to rest, and I was just a few feet away from the wreckage. My body was ravaged by burns as I lay face down in the sand next to the inferno. Somehow, by the grace of God, in all of this chaos, I managed to get up to the edge of the embankment and jump down to where my husband was. A lot of people were still in that bus when it exploded. Not many of us got out. Now we were stranded, lying there in the scorching hot sand, both of us badly injured, bleeding out, burned, watching the bus burning to ashes in the unforgiving desert heat. That image has been imprinted in my mind forever. But in all of this tragedy, there was a miracle. 2 fellow travelers, amidst their own trauma, found us, and with nothing but the tatters of their clothing left, they tied up my arm and my husband's torso to slow the blood loss. Their selfless act, a testament to the inherent goodness that can exist even in the face of tragedy, bought us precious time, and I absolutely believe that this saved our lives. A couple of hours later, we were found by some military and we were taken to their hospital base. The journey to the hospital, laying in the back of that military vehicle, felt like the end. Each breath a battle that I wanted to give up. From there, our recovery was a long, hard climb. Months in the hospitals, comas, countless surgeries, the grueling work of rehabilitation. The days were filled with agony, frustration, and then, of course, that gnawing question of why. Why did this happen to me? Well, let me tell you something. That is a question that does not have an answer. And until you can understand that and fully let that go, you can never truly heal. So, why do I share this painful chapter of my life with you? Well, it's because Here I stand before you today, scarred but not broken, not only alive but thriving. Because within this story of devastation lies a powerful message, a message of never, ever giving up. Life will throw obstacles in your path. You will face moments that feel impossible and unfair, where the darkness seems overwhelming and the future uncertain. You may suffer loss, endure pain, and question your own strength. But I tell you from the depths of my heart that within each of you lies an unyielding resilience. My life irrevocably changed that day in the desert. I lost a part of myself that day, a physical piece of my being. I learned what it truly means to fight for every breath, to find strength in vulnerability, and to appreciate the profound ability of the human spirit to withstand and overcome anything. This experience has gifted me a deeper understanding of what it means to be alive. My body bears the scars of that horrific event, but those scars are not symbols of defeat or something for me to be ashamed of. They are proof of survival. They are telling a story of a fight that I won because I am a survivor and not a victim. I could have allowed that tragedy to define me, to break me, but I chose to push forward, to heal, to rebuild, and find new meaning in our lives. We discovered the incredible strength that lies dormant within each of us until it is called upon. So, whatever challenges you face today that consume you, whatever mountains loom before you, please remember our story and know this: you too possess that same inner strength. You too can find hope in the darkness. You too can push forward one breath, one step, one day at a time. Let this be a reminder that even in the most devastating falls, we always have the power to rise. Let this message fuel your own resilience and your own courage to face adversity head on. Because when you can pull power from pain and harness that energy within yourself, anything is possible. We are all capable of extraordinary resilience. We are all capable of finding light even in the deepest shadows. We can endure, we can fight, and rise above and heal from anything. Thank you.
Wow. I've obviously heard that a few times, but every time it's like I feel it in my soul. How do you feel after just reading that again? Like, did it take you back to everything you went through? Does it take you, does it still, I guess my question, maybe what I'm trying to say is like, does it still hurt when you read those words, or does it feel like memory? Or does it feel like nothing like that?
I think something like that is always going to hurt, but
Mm-hmm.
it hurts in a different way. It doesn't hurt the way it hurt before.
Mm-hmm.
Before you go through the healing and the acceptance, it hurts different.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a pain that gives me strength. So, like I said in my speech about truly harnessing power from pain,
Mm-hmm.
I that's how I feel when I read my speech.
Mm-hmm.
It's painful to talk about, but it's powerful. It's empowering. It's motivating. And it just reminds me of the journey I've taken and where I've come from and the things I've overcome.
Absolutely. I think obviously you're one of the strongest people that I know. And I think in listening to that, it's just so motivating. And I think that you can help so many people because, like you said, we're all going through whatever our pain is. And you can't compare one person's pain to another person's pain because whatever your pain is in your reality, it feels like the worst thing in the world.
Absolutely.
But what I think is nice about your situation is this happened, what, 16 years ago? 17?
16 years ago.
This happened 16 years ago. And like, I can't even imagine what you felt, what you thought some of those early days laying in the hospital bed looking up at the roof, you would have never thought you would be here today.
And I think that's what motivates me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Because if I had somebody back then that not just telling me it'll be okay, but showing me that they have walked that path and that they were okay and they were happy, grateful, amazing, like that they could have that wonderful life again. I don't think my journey through recovery would have been as difficult or as long. But it's really tough when you're in that place, it's very hard to look forward and have hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've come so far. So you're living proof that through this awful tragedy, like, look where you're at today. Like, it will get better. And I think that's, I don't know if that's like the,
It does get better.
yeah.
You do heal. You do. And in speaking at this event, I actually met so many other women and they shared their stories of pain and endurance and strength with me. Like I went there to inspire and I left inspired.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the things other people have been through and overcome with such strength and such confidence. It was honestly such a humbling and touching and amazing experience.
For sure. And I think that you're ready to talk about this stuff because I know in the past you've been asked to share your story on like multiple occasions throughout the past 15, 16 years. And this one just kind of felt right for you. And I think that you're in a place now where you're like ready to do this. You're ready to like share your story. You're ready to help people. You're ready to be almost vulnerable because it's like obviously not easy for you to go there. But I think, like you said prior to the event, if you could leave there and one person felt better about something going on in their life, it was worth it.
Yes. And I do feel ready now.
Well, thank you so much for everyone who's tuning into this. Hopefully, we'll have more episodes to come. Bye, honey.
Bye, T.